Today I'm working on preserving chicken legs and chicken thighs that I got on sale for 97 cents a pound. And the only thing I'm going to do to the chicken legs is remove the skin. I'm going to raw pack them with the bone in, and then when I get ready to use them, all I have to do is take the meat off the bone. And a lot of times I'll take those bones and grind them up to add to our dog food because they will be completely soft and falling apart. I have my jars heating up in that canner on my stove. I've saved the skin and the bones from this chicken. I'll use that later when I make chicken broth. So to raw pack, all you're going to do is take your chicken and fill your jar to a 1-inch headspace. I was able to get 5 of these drumsticks in each jar. I tried to fit 6, but it didn't work. So I'm putting the drumsticks in. I'll come back with hot water. You can fill these to a 1-inch headspace with your hot water as well. I didn't go quite to an inch because this chicken is going to create its own juice while it's cooking down also, and I wanted to leave a little bit of room for that. I wiped the rims of these jars really well with white vinegar to make sure that I didn't have any chicken fat on the rim of the jar. Then I put my lids and the rings on and put them in the canner for an hour and a half for quart-sized jars. Now that my chicken legs are in the canner, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the chicken thighs to can. And I've already deboned, removed the skin, and cut the thighs into bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to make chicken cacciatore in a jar with these chicken thighs. I'm also cooking about a recipe and a half, and that way whatever I have in addition to what's going in the canner, I'm going to continue to cook that down and we'll eat that for supper tonight. So that way I'm not canning and preparing food and then having to turn around and cook a different meal. So I have my chicken in a heavy bottom stock pot. I added some herb infused olive oil that I had. You could just use plain olive oil. I'm going to coat the chicken and let it start cooking down, and I'm gonna let that go for about 5 minutes and then add red wine. This is red wine that my husband made. And then you put the lid on the stock pot and let that cook undisturbed for 5 minutes. And my heat is on medium high. After 5 minutes, I'm going to add the spices and diced tomatoes, onion, bell pepper, garlic, and mushrooms. And I'm also going to add tomato juice. This is tomato juice that I have had in my freezer for several years. So this was a great recipe to use up something else that was in my freezer and free up more freezer space. The recipe for this says that you can use V8 juice instead of tomato juice. You could also use spicy V8 juice. If you don't have tomato juice, you could probably just use broth instead. Now I'm going to bring all of that up to a boil and let it boil for 5 minutes, and then I will add tomato paste and a little sugar, and then let it cook for another 5 minutes, and I'll be ready to fill the jars. I'm using a slotted spoon to fill my jars 3/4 of the way full with solids, the chicken and the vegetables, and then I'll come back and finish filling those jars to a 1-inch headspace with the sauce. Then I wipe the rims really well with white vinegar to make sure that none of that sauce got on the rim of the jar or stays on the rim of the jar. I know it got on there. Once my lids and rings are on, these are going to go in the canner for an hour and a half. I will tell you that I had siphoning with both the chicken legs and the chicken cacciatore, and sometimes you just can't help that. It usually does not cause an issue, and it did not cause any problems with this. All of my jars sealed really well. Let me tell you, putting these in my canner, I had too much water in there. It's not a big deal. I just took some out to make room for that other jar, that last jar. And these are the chicken legs. They turn out so good. These are going to fall off the bone when I get ready to use them, and it just eliminates that step of having to cook your chicken before you make a recipe. So I made some pasta, and we had the rest of our chicken cacciatore for supper. It was so good. This is my new favorite meal in a jar.